What's good, people? It is Tony the Savant back again. And before we get started, I'd just like to ask everybody in the audience, if you don't mind, please like this video, share this video, and comment on this video, as it does help the growth of the overall channel. Um, as well as hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I'm dropping content and going live on the channel. Got a lot of good stuff lined up coming for y'all. And, just a little bit of help goes a long way, and I can't thank y'all enough. So let's get right to work, why don't we? Because I got to shout out Dr. Umar Johnson on his take surrounding this Caitlin Clark situation. Now, Dr. Umar Johnson and myself don't often agree philosophically on things, but Dr. Umar be cooking. And when he's cooking, he's cooking. I've learned a number of things from this gentleman, and, listening to him discuss his particular perspective of this Caitlin Clark situation, I was just in a position to learn again. Now, if you all don't know, Caitlin Clark has had a number of narratives surrounding her career, her short, WNBA career so far. Um, One of which that has just I have been totally disgusted by is the jealousy narrative. Now, if you all don't know, it's been said by the mainstream media that the stars of the WNBA are jealous of Caitlin Clark due to all the attention, media attention, marketing dollars, uh, overall attendance and all that good stuff. The mainstream media is trying to brainwash. There's no other way to say it. Brainwash people into believing that Caitlin Clark is the end all be all of the WNBA success. Um, And the mainstream media, again, has been the primary culprits of running with this storyline. Now, Caitlin Clark does have a very strong, devout fan base. But what I've noticed about her fan base is that they're not very adept in the ways of basketball, the competitiveness, the actual nuance of the game, um, and how people perceive the game as far as the people that actually follow and watch the game, including the athletes themselves. Caitlin Clark fans, I have nicknamed them Karen Clarks because they all they see is Caitlin Clark, and they don't want to, they don't want to look outside of that periscope, um, for the worse or for the better. But it would be foolish to say that the recent, success of of the WNBA is not due to Caitlin Clark, but you will also be foolish to say that it is only due to Caitlin Clark, as there have been a number of renowned, um, talented young ladies to come out of this 2024 WNBA draft. May I say historic and legendary draft, because these young ladies have all came in and made immediate impacts in their own respect. And when I say the other ladies, I mean the likes of the Angel Reeses, the Cameron Brinks, the Rakia Jacksons, Carmela Cardoso, so forth and so on. So many, and including one lady that I'm enjoying a lot, Aaliyah Boston. I got a video coming about her pretty soon. But all these young ladies have had their hand in the growth and recent success of the WNBA. Um, but the mainstream media would lead you astray and have you believe otherwise. And that's why, although me and Dr. Umar Johnson don't often agree, to hear his take on this Caitlin Clark situation was a breath of fresh air for myself. Essentially, ladies and gentlemen, there has been this narrative uh, of WNBA players being jealous of Caitlin Clark. I think that's totally asinine. Um, but there's also been another narrative that I found even more disgusting than the jealousy narrative, and that's the fact that people are saying that Caitlin Clark's success is due to her skin color, and her sexual preference. Or we are. Sorry, y'all. But it's because of her sexual preference, and I just can't disagree with that any more than I possibly can. As a competitor and as an athlete myself, I know that for you to be on Caitlin Clark's level, and to get to where she is at in her basketball career, you need more than skin color. You need more than a sexual preference. In fact, you need the skills and the attitude and the mentality to match to get to that level. All things that have nothing to do with skin color or sexual preference. And like I said, I don't know if I mentioned this, but Dr. Umar Johnson really approached this from a racial angle. That's just more of his niche. Um, I gotta, shout him out as he was dropping big facts as he was ethering Stephen A. Smith, Shannon Sharpe, and all those clowns over on the ESPN network. Essentially letting them know that Angel Reese has quadrupled the Chicago Sky's ticket sales, attendance, jersey sales. Yeah, that's Angel Reese. And I got to speak up for Angel Reese in this regard. Being a Chicagoan from the south side of Chicago, raised on the Chicago Bulls through and through, he's absolutely right, man. The attention that Big Reese has brought to the Chicago Sky is nothing short of amazing. Chicago does get behind its athletes, and we get behind our very own, no matter what you're doing in life or how successful or whatever you are. Chicago is very loyal to its own, and so when Angel Reese arrived, it gave us an opportunity to cheer for the Chicago Sky. I think when Candace Parker was there, a lot of people supported the Chicago Sky, but it was nearly the same as drafting your own superstar and watching her grow up right before your eyes. Especially if you was watching someone like Angel Reese while she was in college, like I was. You follow her storyline into the professional league. It's just been a breath of fresh air. And again, Angel Reese has had a very big contribution in the growth of the WNBA, the recent growth, as far as bringing eyes and attention to the game right now this season. You'd be foolish to think otherwise. Cameron Brink, shout out to Magic Johnson. He made a great point as far as someone like her. Who in my opinion is the next Lisa Leslie, just going off of her game. She's a star as well, and she's bringing a lot of attention to the LA Sparks, something that the LA Sparks have been missing for a few seasons. And this is from Magic Johnson's mouth, not mine. So if Magic Johnson, an NBA legend, Hall of Famer, considered the GOAT in some people's opinion of basketball, if he can observe that the WNBA is making a horrible mistake, as well as these mainstream media guys like Stephen A. Shannon Sharpe and ESPN, they're making a horrible mistake by putting all of their eggs in the Caitlin Clark basket and not giving these other young ladies they're just giving them their flowers, no pun intended, is doing harm. It's a total disservice to the WNBA, to Caitlin Clark herself. I got another video I'm cooking right now. Talking to Caitlin Clark and her fans. Not so much to Caitlin Clark because I believe she's just there to ball. She is a competitor. She says the right things to me, in my opinion. She has the attitude and the poise to be great. I think that she will be great, but her fans are doing her a huge disservice by playing fantasy sports with her career. They're playing video games, a little 2K, around Caitlin Clark, where they feel like they can buy their way, buy the attributes, buy her attributes, or in this case, um, kind of overhype her skill sets and raise her attributes. These people are unreasonable, man. I've even deemed them the Karen Clarks because I feel like the Caitlin Clark situation has really brought out the worst in some people. It's really got people showing their racist, And on the Angel Reese side too, just not as much. Honestly, I'm not trying to be biased or anything, but not as much on the Angel Reese side. The Caitlin Clark, the Karen Clark fans. Excuse me, the Caitlin Clark fans that I nicknamed the Karen Clarks. These people are out of control, man, and it's solely because of the mainstream media. They continue to run with these crazy narratives about everybody being jealous of this young lady and everybody not liking this young lady, although there have been several prominent players in the league playing now and legends around the game that have directly opposed that perspective and view. Once again, shout out to Monica McNutt for going on ESPN and checking Stephen A. Smith, the clown himself, and she broke it down to the T as to what is going on with this Caitlin Clark situation, and I couldn't agree with her more anymore. Um, It is very asinine to say that people are jealous of this young lady. What we have to realize is that the WNBA players, excuse me, the WNBA is filled with players that have put in the work, that have been there. Some of these young ladies have seen the top of the hill, been champions, been all NBA, excuse me, all WNBA, all defensive. These ladies have put in the work, so it's very disrespectful and it's a spit in their face. To just uh, say that this rookie player is getting all of this jealousy and disdain simply because of her skin color or simply because people are jealous. These things cannot be from the truth. And if you are a competitor, like myself, you understand the hierarchy of sports. You understand the process, the hazing process that comes into sports, especially when you a new dude. I've been a freshman player. I remember being on the basketball court, not even getting a lot of playing time, but even in the garbage time, you happen to go up against a sophomore or a junior, they going to rough you up a little bit. They going to introduce you to, this is high school basketball, you know what I mean? Coming from grammar school basketball, they welcomed me. I was welcomed into high school basketball myself, so via being roughed up. So that's just a part of sports, man. And again, shout out to Magic Johnson, shout out to Dr. Umar Johnson for calling out these clowns like Stephen A. Smith for just being cap artists, man. And shout out to Monica McNutt again for calling out Stephen A. Smith for being a total opportunist, excuse me, when it comes to this WNBA situation. Stephen A. Smith has been regarded as universally the number one sports analyst for quite some time among some sports circles. And this dude has not said a word about the WNBA as far as promoting them. He's talked bad about them. He's brought up some concerns, which I think we all have at one point or the other. But his recent infatuation with Caitlin Clark and the WNBA, this is all new. This is all cap. This is just another opportunity for Stephen A. Smith to keep himself relevant and in the headlines. But again, shout out to Dr. Umar Johnson because he broke this down to the molecules, man. And shout out to Art of Dialogue as well. Make sure y'all go watch that interview. I enjoy Art of Dialogue, that channel. He always has some interesting characters on his show, so definitely implore y'all to go watch that Dr. Umar Johnson video, especially the clip where Dr. Umar is cooking, literally cooking Stephen A. Smith and Shannon Sharpe for their very casual takes. But that's all I got for y'all on this one. Please, once again, like this video, comment on this video, share this video, and as well hit the notification bell so you can be notified when I'm dropping content and going live on the channel. A little bit of help goes a long way. This here is my big thank you to everybody out there that has shown love and supported me. That's all I got for y'all, man. Peace.